Let's clear up trans rights. Florida anti-trans bathroom law challenged by lawsuit. On Friday, a group of transgender and non-binary people filed a federal lawsuit challenging a new Florida law requiring people to use public restrooms that align with their sex assigned at birth, asking a judge to block enforcement before an upcoming march in Orlando. The lawsuit, filed in the federal Middle District of Florida, alleged that the restroom restrictions are discriminatory and violate free speech rights. The case is the latest in a series of challenges to laws and rules approved by Governor Ron DeSantis' administration and the legislature targeting trans people and the LGBTQ+ community. Friday's challenge centers on a law passed this spring that applies to the use of restrooms in changing facilities at schools and public buildings, such as airports, state and local government buildings, prisons, and jails. People who use restrooms or changing facilities that differ from their sex assigned at birth and refuse to leave when asked to do so could be charged with criminal trespass. The plaintiff's lawyers wrote, quote, "This view of sex and gender causes irreparable harm for transgender, gender nonconforming, and certain intersex people because this community's identities may differ from their sex assigned at birth." They further wrote that when transgender, non-gender conforming individual people walk, talk, dress, or use an affirming restroom, they communicate their gender identity in a way that society can understand. According to the lawsuit, an estimated 1,000 people are expected to attend the national march to protect trans youth in downtown Orlando on October 7th.
Samuel Van Middlesworth.
I'm not hurting anyone.
Says it's scary enough.
Trans people aren't hurting anyone by being themselves.
To use the public bathroom. Now he's even more scared if forced to use the women's as someone who's transgender.
I don't know what to expect going into the women's restroom, especially with my voice now. I don't know if I'm gonna get mistaken.
The thought keeping his mom, Beth,
We're gonna keep fighting now.
up at night. Republican lawmakers say the proposal dubbed Safety in Private Spaces Act is about that, safety. People must use certain bathrooms or changing rooms of their sex at birth.
I have several news articles where women have been assaulted in the restroom by biological male that follow them in. So I believe this is a good law.
Floridians 18 and up violating this could face a misdemeanor. The controversy over the bill heightened over comments one lawmaker made.
It's like we have mutants living among us on planet Earth.
Representative Webster Barnaby later apologized, but the words still sting to Samuel.
I feel unwanted in the state I grew up in, the state that, the only state I've known.
Now he worries under proposed bills before lawmakers, he may lose insurance coverage for his treatments. In St. Pete, Miguel Octavio, 10 Tampa Bay.
Well, mutants. That's a very powerful word. I usually think about X-Men, not my LGBTQ brothers and sisters, especially youth. I have often said that using pronouns, asking people the pronouns, helps you form a construct in which you can have a respectful conversation where people feel safe to be who they are. From using the bathroom to actually identifying someone as who they are and want to be. It's no different than someone, in my opinion, dyeing their hair blonde. How they present themselves to the world is their choice. And I think it's a sad state of affairs where we have to actually have these conversations about such things as bodily functions in public, just because you're trans or gay.
Isn't it crazy that it just seems like we're like in a twilight zone, right? And I know that we've talked about this in the past, but it just seems so freaking crazy, you know? We did a story about a local gentleman that we know and love, Mr. Ramrod James, okay? And he is a striking young man. He's adorable. Anyway, so he had done a Facebook post saying like, look, is this what you want? Okay, I'll start going to women's restrooms. I mean, if you see this guy, he's a leather daddy. He is a dude. And you know, if you see him in a woman's bathroom, you're going to be alarmed. And this is what they want. You know, this is what they want us to do. So then we're gonna do this to not break the law, and then we're gonna freak some people out, and then they're gonna call the cops on us anyway. And then the cops who are not taught how to deal with our community are gonna also treat us wrong. Think about this. It's just awful. It really makes no sense. This poor young boy saying, my own state where I live in doesn't even want me here. And he's not the only one. You know how many thousands and thousands of LGBTQ plus kids feel the same exact way in their hometowns? That's just disgusting.
You know, I want to make sure that it is clear. The film that we just showed, the tape that we just showed about this situation where a man was in a women's restroom and trying to imply that this is a trans issue and this is why we should all be fearful of it. This is a lie. It is misinformation designed to be a lie, but fulfill the end conclusion that they want to try to sell us all. We have long established, there's 40 years of precedents that started on the gay community in the 1970s post-Stonewall that said gay men want to be around children because they will have sex with them. They will rape, and et cetera and so on, all of the inclinations of that. Studies show that overwhelming percentages of rape in the United States has historically and overwhelmingly been done by straight men. And
white cis men.
And
make sure you
really,
say that.
It is white cis men. And they tell the story over and over again to try to motivate you in fear to a conclusion. That's what we just watched in that hearing. It is misinformation. It is not true. Research it yourself. Go in and do multiple searches on it, and you will find and come to the exact same conclusion. That is a lie.
There are predators out there. No one's going to deny that. There are people who are terrifying monsters. That has nothing to do with their gender identity, their sexual orientation, or who they decide to love. They are monsters. And you're not going to stop them from going into a bathroom just because of their gender assigned at birth. They're going to be monsters anyway.
Adriana, I want to take the opportunity with you sitting here. I want to ask you from your standpoint and your political expertise, what is it that broadly, I know how important the choice of bathroom is for the trans community. I already know that. I know that and I understand it. What is it that they're so afraid of? From your years of advocacy and representing in the community, both for the trans community and our political community, what is the fear over bathrooms? Why do you think it creates so much fear for them?
Well, for me, I don't think it's just bathrooms. What I think is they want to push us back in the closet. They want to push us back to where, there's no trans representation. When before there was a Janet Mock and a Laverne Cox and M.G. Rodriguez and all these people that are at the forefront winning all of these awards that cisgendered people are normally getting, it seems to me like they're afraid. And it also seems as if they're just trying to divide us as a community, all of the marginalized people. And I feel when they're picking on the most marginalized community, which is the trans people, you have the trans people against the black people and the black people against the Spanish people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they just keep doing that and picking us apart. Then eventually, guess what? We can't stand up to them. We can't stand up to the Republicans. But when I think of the fear of, I couldn't even imagine going to a men's restroom. I haven't gone into a men's restroom since I was 18 years old. And I remember a particular job I had when I was 21. I had just got my girls and everything. And I was, I remember them letting me go into the women's restroom. And then somebody that worked with me made a complaint. And they wanted me to go to the men's room. And to end the story, I did just that. I made sure that I had my top down and my girls were up and I was a server. And guess what? There were so many complaints about me. I can't believe that you have her in there with my son and my husband and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Those are the problems that we're going to have to deal with now. And the fact that we just recently had a trans woman who was raped in a men's room.
Well, the complete conclusion to your answer to my question is we can't allow them to divide us, and we have to unite and stand together. That is the key to success of winning this culture war that has been launched over bathrooms.